Hello everyone, I'm Lisa Flynn. I've just blown in. And today we are back with more Seduce Me 2, The Demon Wall. Last time we had a lot of talky talk, and the boys and their wives are here, and we're doing a trap. Yay! Okay, let's move on. Thank you, Diana, because...
I will take you to some rooms you may rest in.
yeah, she's gonna let us rest. She's a nice host. Diana merely nodded and led our group out of the room towards our new temporary rooms. The walk to the room was filled with awkward silence. Yeah, I don't blame them. I only kind of got them trapped here and committed to a war to kill their dad. Nothing awkward about that at all. What were we supposed to do here? Go kill the Demon Lord. Duh. Winning. Damien and I were both human, and while yes, we both knew he'd have to help in the war, he wasn't a demon anymore. I grimaced, feeling nervousness of the situation take hold of me. This was going to be a rocky adventure. Who knew what would happen, what to expect? I could only guess time would tell. I gripped Damien's hand harder, letting my nerves sink in. Naturally, Damien smiled and kissed my forehead.
It's okay. Everything will be alright, I promise.
Will it? I nodded, but some part of me was still fearful, despite his reassurance. We were in the demon world. Humans in the demon world. Yeah, that's kind of a new wrinkle compared to all the other paths, you know, both of us being human. I was worried what would become of Damien now that he was in his home plane. Something he wasn't born as. Yeah, that might be awkward. I looked up at Damien, seeing him focus on following our guide to get us to our room. I was curious. What was going through his mind? I was sure he was worried when I was taken, but now that he had me back, what was he thinking of now? Skittles. Pretty sure the answer is Skittles. Maybe pizza. For a moment, I briefly wished I had his mind-reading ability. I wanted to know what went through Damien's mind at everything we did. At every step we made, at every event that came along the road. Feeling my stare, Damien turned his head and looked down at me, furrowing his eyebrows in confusion.
What is it?
I lightly bit my lip. Did I want to tell him what was on my mind? Yeah, always. That's why I married an empath. What do you think about this whole thing? I had to verbalize my curiosity. Damien took in the question before turning to the hall once again, frowning a bit.
I think it's a really bad situation.
Uh-huh.
You're trapped here, and I'm human, so I can't do much to help in the war.
True. I'm sure we'll come up with something. As Damien squeezed my hand, however, I felt my heart flutter a bit.
Still, I want to help and bring you back.
Aww.
I'll do everything I can to send us back home.
Aww. Damien. I naturally hugged his arms to me, causing him to gasp a bit and look over, a faint blush running across his cheeks. Aww. He was so adorable and I absolutely loved him. Whatever drew him to me made my heart feel absolutely lucky to have him. That feeling's amazing. As we reached our room, I took in that the ambassador room I had claimed the night before was officially sanctioned for me and Damien. Dang, we got a good room. The others were given rooms in the other parts of the castle, so we had some space to ourselves. Interesting. Stepping in, I took a seat on the bed, feeling mild exhaustion sweep over me. However, Damien looked around the room in slight awe. I tilted my head, wondering why. I mean, it's nice, but our room back home is also nice. Damien stepped around the room, looking around and observing every piece of decor. As he got to the mantel, he looked at almost stunned to see the design and the architecture of it. It was almost like watching a little kid walk into a museum. Whoa. Damien? You okay? Should I get the Skittles out? My voice caught his attention, causing Damien to jump up and look at me in surprise. As he calmed down, he rubbed the back of his neck in nervousness.
Sorry, I've never really been in a room like this before, so this is a bit of a surprise to me.
Really? Right, you're the bastard of the nobles. You probably did not have a nice room. Really? What kind of room did you have? I stared at Damien in shock. He really never saw a room like this? I mean, we live in a mansion. We were in the demon world, though, and how could this have been not familiar to him? I was positive that he would have at least seen a room like this in his time here. Damien shook his head in reply.
I never had a room growing up.
Oh, cuddles must comfort. And my heart suddenly crumbled in my chest. I knew that Damien was the mistreated bastard son of the demon lord, but to not have a room? I know, right? Ugh. That was almost cruel. I couldn't help imagining Damien sleeping on the cold marble floor of the grand hall, or even in a cell. My soul began to weep for him, but I knew that it was just better to ask him about his experiences than assume the absolute worst case. And how did you sleep then?
Well, demons don't sleep at all, actually.
That's creepy. That made absolute... Seriously, Diana already explained this. Wait, what? Oh, they don't. Why do they have beds and stuff then? Oh my god, girl, how naive are you? Why do you think they have beds? What other stuff do you do with Damien besides sleep in a bed? Damien blushed a bit and grimaced across his lips.
Well, other than having, sex.
Yay!
Demons rest. Like lying down and reading or something like that, but demons never close their eyes for long. It opens them up to being taken advantage of.
Taken advantage of, you say? Then how the heck do demons function? A valid question.
With energy and food.
Ah.
As long as a demon has both, or at least one or the other, they can keep functioning without needing to sleep. Lying down simply lets them stop using their energy.
Huh. Cool. Then what about in the human world? Were you and the others pretending to sleep? Damien shook his head, driving another confused wedge into my brain. Because my brain is really slow today. Like, it's stuck at buffering, and I don't know why. What? Demons could sleep, then, but only if they wanted to? But that absolutely didn't need to, so they didn't have to? Ah, see the little marble running the maze? Damien laughed a bit at my confusion.
When we went to the human world, we got to experience sleep for the first time.
Isn't it great?
It was so good for us, and we felt relaxed, so we kept at it, like regular humans.
Aw.
Besides, the risks we had here are not the same as the risks in the human world.
That's very true, I guess. That was still a lot I had to learn about the demons, apparently. It's not like I'm marrying one. I mean, I'm marrying the human out of the group. Not that I needed to know, but my curiosity about them grew the more I learned about them. You know, I'm pretty sure Grandpa would be proud about that. Damien smiled and walked over to sit beside me and kiss my cheek.
I think we'll be safe to sleep, though. This is Lilith Castle, after all.
You know something about this place? Lilith Castle? This place has a name? With a nod, Damien pointed over at the mantel, tracing through the air at the markings on the stonework.
If I remember right, James told me about the first succubus, Lilith, and how she gave birth to incubi and succubi from this very castle.
Ooh.
Diana is her descendant, so she now owns this place.
Diana. That was such a weird reading of that name. Sorry. Wow. So, Diana really was a princess. Duh. I was a bit surprised to confirm the fact. But, in the end, it made sense. She had the attitude of one, that was for sure. Whoa, okay, let's dial back the girl shaming here. Damien wrapped an arm around my shoulders and smiled.
At least we'll get some good sleep tonight.
Woohoo! Sleep. Yeah, the bed is frickin' amazing. You gotta try it out. I could feel that we would be okay in our room. The castle was well fortified from what I knew, and Diana seemed... I'm sorry, I need to stop pronouncing it how I would normally. Seemed to be on top of making sure everything ran smoothly, as did the other rebel leaders. Everything was like a well-oiled machine. I leaned my head on Damien's shoulder, letting out a small sigh. I'm sorry.
Huh? For what?
You know, life. I looked up at Damien, remembering that I had been gone an entire day. I must have worried him sick and made everyone else go crazy at my absence, not only from the wedding, but from the entire human world. For going missing, I was gone for a whole day. Damien stared at me for a moment, before smiling and kissing my forehead.
Were you really here a whole day?
Uh-huh. I furrowed my eyebrows, staring at him and trying to figure out if he was joking or being serious. Seeing my expression, Damien let out a small laugh and hugged me to his side.
To me, you were only gone for about 4 or 5 hours.
Ah, in that case then, you and your brothers and their wives were like rapid response crew here. Wait, what? That could not be. Why not? Magic. There was no way that I had gone for that short of a period of time. I remembered sleeping in this room, going through an entire day of being in this world, and trying to get home to him twice. Twice! That definitely did not add up. With a small smirk, Damien released me and placed his hands on my head.
Time runs differently between the human and demon world.
Uh-huh.
A whole day here is about 5 hours in the human world. You weren't gone very long.
So as soon as the war's over, you're saying we should honeymoon here. Gotcha. My jaw dropped. Even time was different here. This world was full of surprises. I felt myself hold my cheeks and try to take it in. How did everyone react? Damien frowned a bit and gently wrapped his arms around me, hugging me fully to him and resting his head on mine.
We were all worried sick about you.
Aww. Damien. I could only imagine what Damien went through in those 5 hours. What? That I ran away from him, that he's dodging a bullet, that, oh yeah, he should probably go find me. When I didn't arrive, what was the first thing he did? What was the first thing anyone did? I felt guilty, but I also knew that what had happened was out of my hands. Damien let out a small sigh and kissed my head.
When you didn't show up, we sent the girls to find you while my brothers managed to wipe everyone's memories and delay the wedding for a couple of days.
Cool.
We didn't know how fast it would take us to find you.
Aww. Although now I have a question of what happens if it really was just cold feet and I ran away? How pissed would they be and what would happen? I want that story next. Damien's grip tightened around me as he pulled me even closer to him.
I had to rely on my brothers to find you. There was no clue where you were taken, so I had to sit and wait until they managed to locate you, here. Then we came.
Aww. Then you came. Hug! I was stunned by the love I was given by Damien. Despite being human, girl, we're human. He traveled through the gates of worlds to try and find me. I was lucky to have a loving man like him. Aww. My only regret was being in this world instead of at the altar with him. So, get married here? We're gonna have a week? I wrapped my arms around Damien and pressed my forehead to his shoulder, closing my eyes and taking in his scent and love. Eventually, Damien pulled away and stared down at me with a tired smile.
We should get some rest. There's a long week ahead of us.
Yeah, we should rest. I'm already. I nodded in agreement, knowing exactly what he meant. We slowly crawled into the bed and snuggled into each other's arms, embracing the darkness of slumber once more. As sleep welcomed me, a thought ran through my mind. What would happen? Obviously, the boys would help fight in the war. But what about Damien? He was indeed human, and he had no abilities to use as such. Yeah? And? Then again, maybe he could still use magic as a human. Carrie was able to do so, and she was a human, but she was a witch, trained in magic. Damien's abilities came from his demon side, which he no longer had. Yeah, it's almost like he made a mistake cutting that part of himself out. Instead of, learning to accept himself as he is. How would he fight then? Girl, if we're gonna fight too, yeah, it's not impossible. The question floated around in my mind and my dreams, as I drifted to a calm and peaceful sleep. Game? Hello?
Why can't I sleep?
I don't know. Huh.
Something's wrong.
Uh-oh. That's rather ominous music that came with that statement.
Something is indeed wrong, boy. You're in the demon world, and you won't even acknowledge your demon side.
Okay, why is that question mark, question mark, question mark? We know that's Diana's voice.
Huh? What are you doing here?
A very valid question, D. We're not having a three-way, go away.
Observing a disappointment for amusement. You keep continuing to fail at living so much that it's become a wonderful form of entertainment.
I'm guessing this is Shadow or Dark Diana. Awesome.
The demon who lost his powers. Doesn't that sound absolutely ridiculous?
Not really.
Let's replace it with the demon whose wife almost became the demon lord's next bed bitch.
I don't like that title. Also, screw you.
What do you want?
A valid question.
Oh, come now, don't be so hostile. You'll wake the human up.
The human is already up. And my name is fucking Mika.
She and I are both human.
Oh, we're about to get an unpleasant truth, aren't we?
I cannot believe it. Is that what you still think, boy? Do you truly believe yourself to be human?
Yes. No matter how many times you taught me, I know the truth. I am human.
Not the way you think.
Well, I hate to break the delusion you may be under, but you should know that becoming a human is impossible for a demon.
Why? No, seriously, why? If you've watched the first LP I did of this game, one of the routes you can get as a potential ending is if you forego any of the romances, you can become a full-fledged demon lord and rule the abyssal planes. It is possible for a human to become a demon I guess I'm not seeing why it's not, the reverse, why a demon can't become human.
That's not true. I've been a human for over 2 years now. I don't believe you.
Good.
Then you are more of a disappointment than I imagined. God, why don't you just give up? Then again, if you gave up, then I would lose my entertainment.
But he's not here for your entertainment.
Leave.
Please, get out. Go away.
Fine, I shall. But heed my words, boy. Tomorrow will be a very rough awakening for you. I can feel it.
No. Damien, ... The morning arose with me stretching and yawning the sleep out of my body. I surprisingly had a peaceful night, but apparently Damien didn't, as he wasn't in bed with me. I looked to the side to see him not under the sheets with me, but standing by the fireplace, staring into the flames with bags under his eyes. I slowly rose from the bed and covered my mouth with another yawn and escaped me. Damien? At the sound of my voice, Damien looked over, eyes glazed over in exhaustion. I could tell that something had kept him up, so I slid my legs off at the bed and walked over to him, wrapping my arms around him. What's wrong? Really, sweetie, you're gonna answer me if ... Come on. I looked up into his violet and blue eyes, trying to find the answer within them despite it being impossible. Whatever it was that kept him up, I wanted to know and try to help. Still, Damien remained silent. His arms, however, wrapped themselves around my form and gently pulled me against his body. Leaning his forehead against mine with a soft, tired sigh, Damien closed his eyes and gave me a small squeeze.
Did you sleep well?
Yeah, but we're talking about you. I nodded, but remained concerned. If something was wrong, I wanted to know and try and help him get over it. Still, Damien said nothing and just smiled at me.
Good. That's good.
Why do you look exhausted, sweetie? What about you? You're acting weird. I needed to know what was wrong. Something about Damien didn't seem to be okay, and I wanted to see what I could do. Damien simply stared down at me, exhaustion plaguing his eyes before shaking his head.
Nothing's wrong. At least, I don't think so.
Lies. Then why do you look so tired? Damien pressed his lips together and looked down at the space between us, almost in shame. What was he hiding?
I didn't sleep much last night. Sorry.
Why? I furrowed my eyebrows and cupped his cheek. He was warm, probably from sitting in front of the fire a long while. Still, I was now worried for Damien. Maybe you should head back to bed and try and catch some sleep. Damien opened his mouth to speak, but was interrupted by the sound of a pounding fist at our door.
Oi! Got some food! Let us in!
No, go away.
Rise and shine!
No! Damien and I stared at the door before holding hands and circling around the bed to sit at the edge of it. As we settled onto the mattress, Damien called out, masking his exhaustion.
Come in.
Go away! The door opened to reveal the other incubi and their wives, who began to slowly file in, each with a plate of food in their hands. Carrie and Sam, however, had 2 each and passed us their extra plates. Thanks, guys.
There you go.
I'm going to assume this was your idea. Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Carrie.
There you go, bro.
Aw, bro.
Thank you, Sam.
Aw. The group settled into the room, making themselves comfy when they were standing or sitting on the bench. As I looked down at the plate in my hands, I took a note of the food on it. Jerky, cheese, fruit, and bread. Simple. I began to chow down on the fruit as James cleared his throat.
So, we need to discuss training.
I mean, do we? I think me and Damien can set this out. Sam and Matthew let out a simultaneous groan. Obviously not in the mood to get into the conversation James wanted to start up. Really, I kind of think Sam would be down for James's conversation.
Do we have to? Can't we wait until after breakfast?
Nope. Get a move on. Train.
As much as I would agree, we are strapped for time.
Uh-huh.
We need to settle a plan, and soon.
Yep.
We train like we used to do. Go and kick the bastard's ass, and we go home. Done.
Exactly. Thank you, Sam. Unlikely voice of reason. Sam began to stuff his face. Finished saying his piece as James pinched the bridge of his nose and let out a sigh of irritation. Carrie grabbed Sam's shoulder and shook it slightly, making him look up at her.
As awesome as you are, I don't think that'll be enough.
Oh, you don't know that.
Indeed. We may be 5 strong, but we'd still be going up against the man who has always been stronger than all of us combined. We need to think logically about this.
Strategy, yes.
Well, not to bring up the elephant in the room, but aren't you guys kind of downy, brother? At least demon-wise?
Yeah. Thanks, Norin. That's your name, Norin. Everyone looked over at Norin, taking in what she had said. She was right. Damien was human now and couldn't train like a demon. Right? Damien ... Damien looked at his plate again and began to eat in silence. What was wrong? Oh. The others continued to chat, ignoring me and Damien.
While Damien may be human now, he can still fight.
Uh-huh.
Any human can fight, really, if you piss them off enough. I think Damien's got more of a reason to be pissed off than anyone else.
Agreed.
Yeah, all 5 of us can kick his ass! 4 demons in a human style!
Aw.
Well, not exactly.
What? At that moment, everyone turned their heads to see Diana at the door. To my surprise, her expression was a very guilt-driven and regretful demeanor. Yeah, those aren't things I usually associate with Diana. Something in my gut began to turn. What did Diana mean? What did she have in mind?
Not exactly?
Yes?
You're not exactly down a brother. At least not in the sense you are insinuating.
Aw, go on. Diana stepped further into the room, placing her hands together by her stomach and looking to Damien, who simply looked back at her with tired but stern eyes.
What do you mean?
What does she mean? Oh, don't you dare ... me, girl. The room began to fill with a tense aura, making it clear that Diana was going to drop some sort of bombshell on us. You killed the demon lord in the night and we're all free to go home? In a fit of discomfort, Sam rolled his shoulders and practically spat out at Diana.
Well, out with it.
Yeah, best just to get this over with. With a heavy and low breath, Diana looked into Damien's piercing gaze, no longer able to hide what secret she was keeping.
Damien, can you read my mind right now?
Whoa, that was a filthy thought, Diana. Shame on you. Silence once again tricked into the air. I looked to Damien, now very confused and concerned. Did he still have his mind-reading abilities? I thought she turned him to human. He wasn't a demon anymore, right? Right, Diana? As I stared, Damien kept his gaze locked on Diana, concentrating on her. Eerily, slowly, his eyes began to widen with fearful dread. He was able to read her mind after all. Oh, Dee, we're gonna have words. The next second became blurred as Damien pounced off of the bed and charged at Diana, slamming her into the wall by her neck. I cannot blame his reaction, but, maybe not assault the queen in her castle.
You lied to me!
Yeah, she did.
Damien!
Hey!
You swore that I would be human!
Yeah, she did. I instantly stood and lost in a state of shock from seeing Damien lock Diana in a fist chokehold, pressing her hard against the stone wall behind her. Naturally, Diana gripped Damien's wrist, trying to pry it off of her.
Why can I read your thoughts?
Yeah, Dee. Also, maybe not choke her if you want an answer. Desperate for air, Diana lifted her leg up and kicked Damien off of her, vaulting him back and slammed into Sam and Carrie. Diana buckled to the ground, coughing wildly. Sam managed to catch Damien and keep them both upright, as Carrie held on to the bench to keep from falling back. Damien! I instantly rushed over to Damien, pulling him from Sam's hold and wrapping my arms around him. He was shaking and I caught sight of the tears running down his cheeks, as if he was trying to disbelieve what was happening.
What did you do to him?
I think it's more what she didn't do. Diana lifted her head and grasped her neck. However, her expression wasn't one of rage, but still of deep regret, which would be nice to see. Right now what I'm seeing is her stock annoyed expression. She knew that this would happen, and this was a deserved punishment. She expected this. At that point, just, send a handwritten note. Hey, sorry, you're not actually a human. You're still a demon. Try reading someone's mind. Talk to you soon. Please calm down before you talk soon. Diana! See, this is a very simple letter to write.
I never turned you human. I only drained you of your energy through a ritual. It was supposed to completely wipe out any need for energy, making you human. But you've never been completely transformed.
Okay. So many questions, but let's see where you're going with this. Damien attempted to lunge at Diana again, causing me to instinctively grip onto him and keep him back. None of this made sense. No, Diana explained it already. She just took his energy, she didn't, take his powers. If he was still a demon, then eventually he would have to need energy. Yet there was no point where he drained it from me. You're living together, right? They've expressed it's not always the sexy sex that they can get energy from. Sometimes it's just ambient touch. But Damien never felt like a demon. We've been practically magic-free for 2 years. That doesn't make sense.
I've had no magic, no mind reading for 2 years. I never felt the need to feed or drain any energy the entire time. How is this possible?
Okay, sweetie. Right sentiment, just wrong tone.
You're in the demon world. This world is full of magic, strong enough to rekindle your abilities.
Ah.
The human world is too pure to give your body the power it needed to convert back to your demon state.
Too pure. Like Damien. Except for right now, when he's pissed. The entire situation became a myriad of confusion. Damien never became human. Diana didn't fulfill her end of the deal. What was going on? Damien eventually slumped into my arms, his adrenaline completely drained as he took in the truth of what had become of him. Poor guy. At the same time, the situation hit me as well. Damien was still a demon, unconsciously so, but still unchanged. A part of me was relieved, while the other part of me felt incredibly sorry for him. Let's just stick to the relieved part for now. Damien, ...
I'm sorry.
You should be. And there needs to be words, just not words when we're all angry and on edge.
No, you're not.
Her surprised expression's kinda worth it. Damien looked up at Diana, eyes full of tired rage. Diana stared back, flinching at the sight. I could feel the anger evolving around Damien's body as I held him close to me, which in turn almost frightened me.
You'll never be sorry for anything. The Princess of Lilith is too prideful to give a damn about anyone but herself, and it's always been that way.
Okay, Damien, calm your tits. You're being rude. I could hear the venom sneaking into his words as he stuck them at the succubus. However, there was almost a deep pain and hurt. Who wouldn't be? He had been living a lie, and the reality of the truth was crashing down around him.
Was it funny? Tricking me into believing you? Oh, it must have been. Because you fooled me for the past 2 years and managed to get away with my energy. You always get what you want, don't you?
At this point in time in character, we don't know that. Out of character, having played all the other routes, she lost her family. She didn't succeed in her mission in bringing one of you back to marry her. Yeah, Diana's also kind of been in a bad place. Oh yeah, and she might be, tainted with some evil madness rage thingy. I understand being upset, and this is why we need to separate and calm down, and then come back to this when we're calm. Diana, ... That's enough, Damien. He was right. This was unfair. But, big but there. But, Diana did what was the closest thing to make him human. True. It was a shitty way to go about it, and she should have been more honest, but... She didn't expect him to come back to the demon world and rekindle his powers, so, in a way, she did give him what he wanted. Yeah. Diana slowly stood and rubbed her neck, broke tears running down her face, but her expression contorted to one of cold hatred.
Well, the joke's on me then. I returned to see my kingdom in flames and my family gruesomely slaughtered.
Yeah.
So I guess I didn't get what I wanted either.
Exactly. Thank you, Diana. That caused silence to engulf the room. The news formed a dark pit in my stomach, forcing me to imagine such a scene and shake it out of my thoughts furiously. Damien didn't speak. Instead, he moved and sat down on the bed, his head in his hands as he curled over his knees. I followed, wrapping my arms around him comfortingly. Damien's brothers, however, each took a step towards Diana. Oh, God damn it, boy, stand down.
Give Damien his energy back.
I think she's used it.
Impossible.
It's been 10 years here.
Like hell it is! If he's still a demon, he needs his energy to fight.
Guys, just get out of the room. Give me like half an hour, I can get him energy. Just saying.
I've spent the last 10 years fighting the Demon Lord with both of their energies. I'm not as powerful as I was then, so I no longer have the ability to give him anything without risking my life.
Exactly.
Who said we gave a damn about you?
Oh, fuck you, Sam. Shut up. I care. I'm pretty sure her court of people out there care. I'm pretty sure everyone under her banner that wants to stop the Demon Lord fucking cares. Sam stepped up to Diana, leaning nose to nose with her. His anger flared around his body, giving an intimidating warning that didn't seem to faze her.
You fucked over our brother.
Uh-huh.
You don't give a shit about what happened because of your fuck-up. You're gonna fix this, or else.
Uh-huh. Diana, ...
That's enough, Sam.
Thank you, Eric. Eric, seemingly the only sensible one in the group of incubi, grabbed onto Sam's shoulder and pulled him away from Diana. Sam gave in, still glaring at the succubus before sitting down beside his wife on the bench. I, however, became torn. What was going to happen now? Damien was a demon again, and was getting his powers back. Yet, Damien didn't want his powers back at all, even at the risk of being the odd brother out. This entire situation became a conglomerate mess of uncertainty and confusion that I had to lower my head and close my eyes for a moment. Diana wiped her eyes, letting out a small sigh, before she glanced around the room.
I will do what I can to fix this issue. For
Cool.
now, however, you can correctly assume that the 5 of you are all demons and can fight with your incubus abilities.
Cool. This might actually be a mixed blessing here. With a cold glare, Diana locked eyes with Sam. As she spoke, Sarah, who had only just entered the room, stepped behind Diana to add to her intimidation. Uh-oh, you can tag team there, Sam.
And if any of you dare step up to me and threaten me again, you will not live to see the final battle.
Yeah, she is the queen here, guys. Maybe you know some diplomacy. Sam moved to stand, sudden anger flashing through his expression, before Carrie grabbed hold of his arm and pulled him back down to sit beside her. Good job, Carrie. Diana closed her eyes and took a breath, before crossing her arms and regaining her professional composure. The air was filled with anxious irritation, but we had to let it go for now. We would hash everything out later time. But, for now, we had to focus on what was going to bring me and Damien home. Exactly! Bigger priorities, folks! Diana ran a hand through her hair and looked around the room, pressing her lips into a fine line.
So, about all of you participating in the war, you all obviously need to train.
I mean, do we? Everyone nodded in agreement at Diana's statement. Well, we weren't the battle ready. We still needed at least to know how to defend ourselves. Point. Diana, however, looked to me.
You, most of all.
What now? Huh? Me? I mean, I know last session I was totally all about I can defend myself, but now that you actually want me to do something... I was suddenly confused. How come I was the odd one out that had to be ready the most? The last thing I remembered about me training was that Diana was against the idea altogether. Yeah, but that's a bit of a mixed message there, Dee. Diana sighed and rubbed her temple.
Apparently, there are guidelines to breaking this curse.
Of course!
Not only do we have to kill the Demon Lord, but you have to be nearby when it happens for the curse to even break.
Awesome. Good. Let's go. That makes no sense. Where did you learn this?
Shadow. He spent the night trying to find alternative ways to break your curse.
Cool.
Unfortunately, we didn't find anything of the sort, but we found the guidelines to breaking it.
Okay. Cool. Well, it still makes no sense.
Even while it doesn't, it's still better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to kill him and then still have you stuck here because of an error.
True. I could only sigh and take it in. So I had to be there when the Demon Lord fell. Great. Ugh, I know, right? Diana waved her hand dismissively through the air, breaking my potential thoughts.
Anyway, we can't have you dying on the way there, and we can't monitor you when we're in battle. You should at least know how to defend yourself.
Cool.
That's why we've come up with a solution.
Really? A solution, you say?
Huh? What solution?
Yeah, I'm also a little curious.
Simple. The other rebel leaders and Sero have agreed that if you'd like a trainer to enhance your abilities, you can train with one of them.
Cool. I stared, seeing Sero step forward with a nod.
Each of the leaders is proficient in a different area of magic and battle strategy, good enough for self-defense. I can't speak for the others, but I can assure you that with Sero's skill and training methods, you will be well prepared by the time the siege arrives.
Yeah, I'm not really a weapons girl, though. Sero nodded and bowed to me slightly. While I was flattered at the idea, did I really need to train? Yeah, you do. I knew Taekwondo. I mean, have I ever actually used it? And I at least knew how to defend myself, demon or not. Then again, we were in the demon world where magic was the norm. Yeah, there's that too. I like to train with Serio, I don't need a trainer. What about what would the others teach me? What? I don't need a trainer. I got this. Hiya! I was fine on my own. Diana stared at me, slightly miffed and slightly in disbelief. Did she not believe me? I didn't ask as Diana pressed her lips into a fine line and looked to the others.
Very well. Do what you believe you should.
Will do. With that, Diana turned on her heel and left the room. Also, with that, we need to bring the video to a close. Until next, Taklikatelak Hido.